Hi everyone, welcome. Hi Geraldine, Karen, Jen, Jane, Saloni, and Susan, and everybody joining in. I'm so thrilled that y'all are here joining me today for my Craft and Unwind Fridays. Something new that I decided to begin where I will go live every Friday at this time and just have some crafty fun with y'all. So I don't have a set plan. I just want to show up with whatever supplies I can grab and craft, relax, share some ideas and just enjoy. Hi Angelique, I'm really thrilled y'all are here. So today I thought I will play with my Sizzix collection from Willow Wolfe with the new release Lindy's Magicals been there and the new release Wow Embossing Powder Ethereal Meadows. So everything has just been released this week and I thought it would be so good to just come create live, show you a peek at everything. At the same time, I also want to say use what you have in your stash. If you want to create along, or if you are inspired, you feel inspired by the techniques I share, just pull supplies out, whatever you have, and create with that. The whole idea is for us to just unwind and craft together and start weekends on a good note, like a crafty high note, because then I continue the energy on Saturdays with my other workshops. That's every other Saturday, but then there are so many other events happening through the weekend. I think it's just such a beautiful way to kickstart the weekend. So I'm just excited to hear where everybody is joining in from. Again, thank you. Thank you for joining live. And with that said, I am quickly going to shift to my desk right there so that we can get started and creating. Oh, Saloni. Yes, it's a good point to just start to learn to see where this takes you, of course. And I'm glad, Angelique. Now, I will do my best to read the comments live and respond to each one of you. And yeah, let's just have fun. That's about it. Let's get into it. So, quickly, even before anything else, I just wanted to show you the Sizzix collection that I have here, and then I'll take you through what I have decided to create with. I just want to check if everything looks good. If y'all can let me know if my video looks good and everything is working fine. I think it is. So, on that note, I'm just going to get started. So, we have plenty of new stamps like the Willow Wolfe collection. Now, this is not very new. I think it was launched last month, if I'm correct. And but yes, a new collab for Sizzix, and that's one of the stamp sets I decided to play with today. Then we have that set. These are stencils, so 4 stencil patterns. I will show you when we get there. And then let me just set this aside and show you some other stamps. It comes with this beautiful floral cluster, the hummingbird, butterflies, absolutely adore that. More florals and butterflies. The entire collection is kind of floral, whimsical, and very good for coloring. So, any medium that you'd like to use. This one is the Magnolia. I really love that stamp set, and a layered stencil set. And this is another unique stamp which comes with these kind of smaller frames all around. And I think it's really lovely for different things. And this collection, especially for kind of, these Journals, like when you do flower study, I think these stamps are so pretty to test mediums and to check whatever medium, something new that you've bought, say new set of watercolors, etc. So I want to show you two projects before we get into today, which I have created using the Willow Wolfe collection. Now, this is a jumbo tag, and I colored the image with alcohol markers. And this one, I built a scene for a framed art, and I did this with Ecoline watercolor markers, brush pens, basically. So, these are the two that I want to show you with this collection. And on that note, I am going to pull out my watercolor base for today. And I decided to create a card because I have not created a card with this collection yet. You saw I created that jumbo tag and I created the watercolor framework, but not a card, is what I was saying. Hi, Gretchen. And I don't know. Hi, T. Kirk. Is that Tammy? I'm not too sure. And hi, Mom. My mom's joined in too. So, hi, Mom. So, that's my base. I'm just using cold press watercolor paper today because I want a lot of texture. I like that grunge and I want to play with that. So, that's why I chose that. As far as the Lindy's Magicals go, I am going to be playing with Been There Lindy's Magicals. And I'm going to read out all the names. That's just a quick swatch. And I want to just show you the shimmer, especially on this, the last one. It's called the Old Path Pearl. So it's pearl with all that shimmer. Now this color is called Brick by Brick. Then the blue is Blue with a View. The olive is Olive the Way There. And then we have Amber Waves Maze. Hi, Aram. So that's a look at the shimmer and shine. If you can really see it on camera, yeah, I can right there. Now this is a swatch where I mix the magical pigment with water, and I'm using them as paints, not sprinkling and misting it with water. That gives a different result, and I will probably show you that during my next live. So right here, now for my palette, I am just using this Willow Wolfe Media Matte. It's a silicone matte with, all of these spaces to mix paint. I have just mixed it right there, and I'm going to be using that for my paint. And let's pull out the stamps. So these are the two sets that I want to use. Okay, yes, Angelique. Whatever set you have, I think play with that. If you don't, just play with watercolors. If you want to play along with this technique. So these are the two stamp sets that I have pulled out. And I want to quickly also show you the embossing powder because I will be picking color based on that. So in the new Wow embossing powder, we have Buttercup Blossom, we have Speckled Sky, we have, which one is this? Bluebell Mist, and we have Wisteria Wonder. Now, again, I can quickly just show you some cards I made. This is with all the blues. The Bluebell Mist, Wisteria Wonder. I am just muddling up all of those words, and then Speckled Sky. So all the blues right there. And again, you can see that texture, the shimmer, the shine. And then right here, I have the Buttercup, the yellow paired with the other blues. And this one where I brought in all of those four colors on this little lamp. So keeping in mind I want to use those colors, I am going to pick my Lindy's. So I'm just going to place the swatch right here. And my idea, I just want to create a little watercolor wash right here on the base. So let me just start with spritzing my card base with water just to get it all set. And I'm not covering the entire region. Now my embossing powders are all either shades of blue, blue purple, and yellow. Again, I'm not going to be using all of those, but just to know where to begin, I want to lay out a lighter shade. So I'm going to go with the Amber Waves Maze. Yes, I agree. Brennan did a wonderful job. Yes, Geraldine. So I'm going to begin with that with my paintbrush, just picking a little, and I will start just dabbing it on my paper. That's about it. I will spritz to get it flowing, because all I'm doing is creating a nice watercolor wash. What this helps, it helps me break the blank page right there. And then when I have color down on the white page, it's kind of less intimidating, especially when there's no plan in mind and you just want to start playing with your supplies. So, how do you all do it? Like, do you come up with a plan and then start? I know there are a few people who make sketches. Let me know how you work when you start creating a project. It's all offset. I haven't really gone through and through. I'm going to just spritz a little more water at the edges to get this to flow a little more, picking a little pigment, and I'm going to start dabbing it because I just want it to softly blend into the white of the paper. So I am doing that, and while I'm doing that, my friend Nuneka is here. But I don't know how to just add you with audio. You can hear. I don't know what you're saying. So she's here. She has joined me on this YouTube live, and she is going to just have fun, talk with us, go through the chat in case I miss anything. But yeah, she's going to type and tell me. So meanwhile, I'm just going to blend this out, and I think that looks good. So a little color on the background, and on this, I think the Blue Mist or Wisteria Wonder, both. I'm more inclined to Blue Mist because Wisteria Wonder has this texture. So let me just quickly show you. So that's Wisteria Wonder. It has that nice grainy texture. Blue Mist is more pearlescent. So I'm inclined to going with Blue Mist on this instead of the other one. So I'm going to set all of the rest aside and let this dry. So I'll have a little blue on the background, and I have another piece of paper right here which I want to use for my focal flower. So let's see. I'm just going to pull out these two flowers, the outline. So this set comes with the outline as well as the solid stamp to color in. I am just going to use the outline for now. And I'm going to bring out my stamp wheel on solo account on my thumbnail. Okay, add to stage. I'm going to try and then. Oh, I did it. Yes, I did it. No, no, you're here.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Yay! Hello, sorry for being late.
No worries. Okay, so Saloni is asking the paper texture and quality. It is cold press paper 300 GSM, and I'm using the one from Alt New. So that is the paper I'm using. So no, I was just showing everybody the new products and just created a little watercolor, and I'm getting into my focal element here. So I'm gonna set these aside. Move it out of the way. And bring in my stamp wheel. Yes, she will read me any questions you have. I can't hear you though, again. Can I? Can you hear
You
me?
don't hear me because I was not talking.
Okay, good. Okay. I was just like, I don't hear you.
I don't want to interrupt you.
Okay. So I am just using whatever space I have left on this scrap piece of cardstock, and I'm using the back, so I'm not using the textured side for this part on the uh, stamp wheel. And I'm just going to pick the stamps. And what I want to do, let me show you. So this doesn't come with a die, which means that I will be fussy cutting these images. And for those who do not enjoy fussy cutting, I would say use a set with a die. But then this is more of this organic technique that we're playing around with. And I think it looks good without that die cut mark and outline. Okay, so I'm going to use the next color, which was that brick by brick, which is kind of a dusky mauve. And I'm picking that up with my paintbrush and I'm just applying that on my stamp. So I'm going to do a little watercolor stamping with this, and I'm not sure how much of it is going to come through because I can see it is quickly drying. We'll try. If this doesn't work, I'll do something else. So that's okay. So let's see.
Saloni is saying that give me an extrovert person feeling. Love your voice and the vibes also. Yeah, I'm an extrovert introvert or introvert extrovert, however it's said. But when I'm behind the scenes, I quite extrovert.
Yeah, there's a new term now, introvert. Have you heard that? It's
Oh my god, that's so hard to pronounce for me.
so that's how it looks right now. But I am going to do one more thing. It's because again, it depends on the stamp. This is huge. It's going to dry out. Although I've done this with smaller stamps, I'm going to pull out a little ink. Where is that? So I'm going to pull out permanent mist gray ink, which is a really light gray, and use that to stamp the images. So what that does is, since it's a lighter color, um, the outline will not be extremely bold. It's just going to be light there, and then I can, you work my way around to watercolor. So I will not be using the solid silhouette stamp here today for this, and that's good. I like that. See, it's faint. It's very faint. You cannot see it well. on camera, but it works. So let's get that out, and I am going to quickly now, firstly, just with water, clean water, I'm going to start moving the pigment around. So I don't really have to do much. I have the pigment in the center as well as the edges of the leaf, and I'm sorry, petal, and I'm just using water to move it around.
So that is going to give you like a watercolor effect
Yes,
in it.
easy watercolor effect. And it with Lindy's, because it's like watercolor, if I reactivate it with water, it's going to help move the pigment. Now again, I wanted to show you, because I'm using the smooth side of the paper, not the textured side. The effect is very different from what I have on my background. But that's what helps create all of that texture. So I'm just moving mica around, basically, that gold shimmer, tinting it. And then I can pick. So I'm going to pick a little bit of the green here from my palette and add that to the stem.
Can I point out something?
Yes.
So when you are using the back side of the paper, the soft side, not the texture one, what
Yeah.
is happening is that the pigment is getting absorbed in the paper, but the
Yeah.
mica can get absorbed. That is why you still can move it so easily when you add water with your paintbrush.
Yes. Exactly. Thank you, Nunu, for saying that. So I'm just mixing a little more of that brick by brick, just a little bit to add a little more shading on this. And I think it's interesting because you can then test and try out on hot press paper, cold press paper, different GSMs, to know what works for you. Now I'm just adding streaks to kind of highlight and still keep it mostly loose.
So there is a comment. It
Geraldine.
says, yeah, they look
That,
like an Appaloosa or Camp Trooper horse, the spot breeds. Also,
they got,
Dalmatian dogs. Yeah, it's super cute.
you know, Geraldine, you're talking about fancy breeds. For me, I'm going to say it looks like the cow I can spot here in India on the street. I'm just going to go with that. So I'm just kind of loosely adding streaks here and there to just highlight the petal. So this way I'm not worried about completely watercoloring it. And I think it's less intimidating. You're not like, you're just letting the paper, the pigment do its thing, and then just adding a few touches here and there. And I'm making sure I add some from the tip of the petal, some from the base. And that looks good. What I'm going to do is use, I think I will add the first color. What was that? Amber way maze to the center. just dotting it. So like Nunu was saying, the mica will stay on top, the color gets absorbed, and it looks vibrant in the center. So that looks good. I am going to just quickly check now. This is still a little wet, so I'm going to bring in my heat tool. Now, I don't know if the heat tool is going to make a lot of noise, but I'm going to quickly give this a dry. I'm going to set my water on the side before I spill it everywhere.
Could you show us the flowers close up so we can see better how it's in this stage? Wow,
Yes.
love it.
Look at that. So
Very
it's just,
organic.
yeah, just the streaks. So we use the outline for reference, and then you've got an organic watercolored flower. And I'm going to do leaves too, but I'll first just set this aside and add a little to my background. Now, what I am thinking, let me just like think out loud and tell you. So I have this other stamp here, and I'm thinking I could use that in the background with the embossing powder just to add more texture in the background, and then fussy cut and use these flowers. So nothing too complicated, something simple. Let's see. But it's kind of offset and will work behind these flowers. So I'm going to bring back the
So
stamp.
that set is Willow Wolf, right? The latest
Yes,
release.
yes.
Is the
Willow.
other flowers as well? Because I don't have that one.
Yes, everything is willow
Oh,
wool. Like the stamps, everything is
okay,
willow wool.
awesome.
And I am just going to take my card base to the stamp wheel because I'm embossing it, and use this one. So I haven't used this particular one before. It's my first time using this. Let's see. So I've picked both the clusters, the big and the small, and I will stamp that and this offset a little bit. So both sides, just a little, or I think I'm going to go this way and then bring this there. No. So let's see. I like it this way here, and this can just go there. And I will use my embossing ink, stamp this. Now remember, it's the cold press side, like the textured side of the paper. So it's not necessarily we get a very clear impression unless I stamp multiple times. And that's the idea. I don't necessarily want like a crisp, clear impression. We're going with that whole organic, loose effect for this card. So I'm going to just stamp that about 2 times.
Some new people joining in the chat. Hello.
Hi, Maninder. And is anybody creating along? I don't know.
I'm not. I'm in the car.
So just giving that a nice press. And I didn't use my anti-static powder because I mentioned in my class earlier I cannot find it. So when I cannot find it, I am not using it. Now that, and I am going to sprinkle bluebell mist. And it's going to be a delicate um little, I don't know what's this called. Like, I'm not calling this a complete cluster, but it's a nice floral, whimsical, um, whatever for the background. You can use it for your focal too because it comes with that other stamp to,
I really love that particular stamp set because you have the bold image, so you can
yeah,
do a watercolor effect on the background, but then you have the fine line, and it's so fine with so much detail. It's so beautiful.
I agree. Just watching, okay. That's okay. That is good. I'm just glad everybody could be here. So let me pull out my cork mat and do the heat embossing for this.
That is the heat tool of hell. It sounds like, my goodness.
So that is a very dreamy, shimmery effect with that embossing powder. And I like it. I like how it creates a nice layer. And I'm going to then fussy cut these images. Spring. Yes. Everybody is ready for spring. Now
Yes,
with
we are ready
fussy,
for spring here in Spain, but it's coming like, you know, it's not normal. We have passed from months of raining non-stop, and today is 30 degrees, like summer. No, not normal at all. It's very crazy weather in Spain.
The thing is, I think the weather is not normal anywhere. It's been extremely hot here in India, especially places where it's never so hot. Even the winters were extreme. So, yeah. Now, we were discussing this last week in class about fussy cutting, and it's always a good idea to trim the paper to have lesser outline and to keep your hand with the scissors steady and just move the paper around to fussy cut it. It just makes it easier to do it that way. And I am just following that outline I have there with my little gray, but mostly the Lindy's. And just cutting around that. That's about it. Now these flowers are not very difficult to fussy cut. The petals are pretty big, and it's not like I have to go in and out too much. So yeah, that helps with fussy cutting this particular cluster. So almost getting there with the first image. At the end of this, I think I am going to have shimmer all over me because the mica has shimmer on these magicals, and my embossing powder has a lot of shimmer. So yeah, it's all going to be shining. We're talking about the weather. Winter, winter. Yes, Canada. Yes, it must be so cold, Geraldine. Canada, I have heard, is extremely cold. Kinda like you said, it's always winter there. I'm just quiet because I'm focusing so much on getting this image cut out. And that tends to happen, especially when fussy cutting, when doing a lot of watercoloring. You just get super focused in on things. Okay, I'm just going to cut this excess so I can move my scissors around easily. You love watching, but you hate cutting. That's funny, Angelique. There you go. So it's very organic. Like the bloom is not perfect at all, and that's what adds to the beauty because we have those dreamy floral, um, I don't know, twigs or whatever they're called. And I like this, something like this. So what I'm going to do is now add a little more texture. Let's see. So I'm going to pick this script stamp and I'm bringing my black ink, so obsidian ink, and I'm not, what do you say, using my stamp wheel or acrylic block. I want to do organic random stamping, and black just adds a good contrast for this. Hi Tracy, good to have you here. No worries at all. I hope it's done working on your tax form. Oh, tax filing is always quite a lot. So I'm just going to add, um, 1 second. There you go.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
No problem. So I am just moving to touches with this script stamp, taking a sanity break. Okay, that sounds good. And I'm just quickly going to put these and see where else I would like touches of that script. It's again gentle, nothing in the face, and it's very random. So that the colors are quite muted. So Angelique, right up your alley. You like vibrant, but when you you create it soft, that's what's happening with me. I'm creating soft. And let's see, I think I quite like it. Just a little bit up there. So you see that one stamp not used throughout, just few touches, and that's what, we do a lot in mixed media. But I think card making spoils us, where you want to stamp the complete image. But I think it looks really nice with just this organic stamping. And
Angelique says, I try to make some surprises with less soft flowers. Yeah,
yes,
Tracy, it's going to be recorded so you can come back later and check the
yes,
full session.
yes, you can just rewatch it right there on YouTube. I am thinking of some solid leaves from that other set. Let's see, so that I can show everybody the watercolor stamping. So with this set, let me put back the flowers. This, so even this set, it has the outline and it has that solid stamp, and I'm planning to use that on, let's see, it fits okay. I have this leftover watercolor strip, so I'm just using that, not pulling out more paper. And this is done, so I can remove this. And this time we'll stamp on the textured part of the paper. So you gotta look at what it is when you stamp with watercolors, like the magicals, particularly on the soft side. Now this time I'm going to go in with my stamp on the textured side, plus the stamp is a little different. It's a solid stamp, so the effect that we get is also going to vary. And I'm going to use the olive green, add that to the stamp.
Yes, Tracy. See, as you see in the latest Willow Wolfe Collection, and there are several beautiful sets of stamps, and there are also some beautiful stencils.
Yes. Oh, I forgot to use the stencils though. We can add that.
Where do I live in Spain? I live near Madrid, not in the capital. I live in a small village, but like 20 minutes driving from the capital. So in the center of the country.
And
Oh, I love that stamping. It's so cool.
it is, right? It's just very organic. So with the solid, you get that look. I quite like that. I'm going to stamp it once more. And I just wanted to say, so the description box will have all the details. There is a discount code if you want to shop for the Sizzix products. It's ADDITI20. And it's valid on both the Sizzix US and UK website. Then there's a discount code to shop for Lindy's. Plus, no, not me. Nuno will be randomly picking a winner today from the
Oh,
comments,
okay.
or someone who will win a Lindy's voucher. So that we have that. And what else?
Ooh.
Wow. So for Wow, you just use the code which is mentioned in the description box for a discount, a 10% off, again valid on both Wow US and Wow UK website. So use the codes, get your discount if you have been eyeing some of these new release products. And there you go. That's the next leaf. Happy with that. So that's how it looks when you stamp a solid image and on the textured side. So let's pull that aside.
Oh, yeah, she's back.
Oh, what happened? I wasn't here. Spanish. Tracy is talking to you in Spanish. Okay, so I am going to just fussy cut these out as well. And I'm just following whatever outline I have. It's again just going in with that loose organic style. It is the impression, yes. Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, I don't know what happened.
I don't know. I thought you were freezing, but no, it was me. I was kicked out. I just was going to add your codes in the chat for people to find them easily.
Yes.
So you see, Sizzix code is ADDITI20.
That is right.
And Lindy's code is ADDIMAHAJAN with two Ds. Addi with two Ds.
Yeah, correct.
And your WOW code is WOWDTADITI. WOWDTADITI. Oh my God.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, exactly. That's like a tongue twister. Wow, DT. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that looks good. What I'm going to do is use a wet paintbrush just a little to move that pigment around so I get shades here and there, a little darker, a little lighter. I can actually do this too. I can go in with little bit of this yellow and add that just to kind of deepen it at the base. Not necessary at all, but then just a little touch.
Oh, it's good to see you too, guys. I've been busy lately designing papers, so no much time for live streams.
I was just going to say she has designed, along with, of course, Tracy from Art House Whimsy, the latest 49 and Market collection, and it is amazing. No, no, just put
Oh,
a link
thank
to Faded Memory Lane. I love the name too, like Faded Memory Lane, and it has all those vintage elements and chipboard pieces. That's it. I have been eyeing that because that is so cool. Chipboard pieces. You didn't know what to do. Okay, so today I just read Karen's comment. She's had Lindy's for a while, didn't know what to do. To be honest, what I'm doing with Lindy's today is not like the most go-to thing. I think I'm just stamping with Lindy's doing that. People love making backgrounds, of course, coloring die-cut images. And I'm glad to hear that because then I can bring in more ideas during the live streams to show you um, what you can do with it.
Yeah, like different ways to use them because we tend to use them only in just one way, but there are many ways you can use them. I love how you use them for stamping.
Thank you. So that's, I'm just going to now put it together. Um, I want to trim it because I think that will work. So let me grab my paper trimmer. So this is an A2 size panel. That's 4.25 by 5.5, but I'm going to trim it down slightly. I will make it 4 by 5.25 instead. And while I have the paper trimmer right here, I'm going to pull out black cardstock and cut this to an A2 size. So this becomes a nice card mat.
Tracy is asking if Lindy's is still having the monthly challenges.
No, they don't have the monthly challenges anymore, but you can like create with any Lindy's product, post on their Facebook group or your social medias using Lindy's Gang Creative hashtag and stuff. And then, sometimes they just pick winners and that's about it. But no more the monthly challenges. So I'm going to put a piece of white cardstock underneath so you can see why that black mat really helps. So
Actually, that black frame changes everything.
exactly. So it brings more like pulls that black stamping too. So I'm going to use my Sizzix glue.
Yeah, remind me to ask Alexis to send me some glue.
I know this glue is really good. So a black mat just makes it all pop up. You could switch like what do you say? I was going to say like if you use blue watercolor wash in the background, you could emboss it with yellow on top. I think that would look so beautiful too. So many switches in the colors basically that can create a
There
different
is
effect.
a question. It says, Aditi, any tips where the A5 color sheets gets warped after painting over it? How to straighten them out?
That's watercolor paper. Are you talking about? Yeah, you're talking about watercolor paper. No,
Yeah.
so if it depends on the paper, because like this one is 300 GSM, it was pretty thick, and just by adding a matte, that I took care of the warp. But for watercolor painting, it would be nice to use masking tape on all four sides. Stretch your paper. That way, the warp is going to be lesser. Again, it depends on the GSM and the quality of your paper, for sure.
But in general, when you are using watercolor paper, if you are going to add a lot of things on the paper, like it's not a small painting thingy, if you are going to make a car like Aditi has done with this beautiful background, it's good to work on your paper before you are going to use your paper. That means you wet your paper on both sides,
Mm-hmm.
attach it to a wooden surface with some masking tape, and let it dry. Because when you wet the paper, it's expanding. And
Yeah.
that is when it dries, it's wrinkling again. So if you work on it and you make it expand before you are going to work in the project, it will shrink later and wave later when you are using it in the project. Does it make sense?
I was going to come to that, because that's if you're doing a lot of painting and stuff. Then, like Nunu said, wet it on both sides, front and back, and stretch it on a wooden frame to avoid warping. I'm just using some foam tape for dimension on the flowers so they pop.
Another thing you can do if you don't want to do that process, you can when you are done with your project, you can put it between some book pages like heavy books. You can iron it on the back as well, but make sure you didn't use any melting thing
Yeah.
like embossing powder because
Yeah.
that
All
would be a disaster.
texture paste, embossing powder. Yeah. With all of that, you don't want to do anything like that. Plus, if you're using things like with shimmer, like mica, then remember there'll be a lot of shimmer wherever you're pressing it sometimes.
Yeah, but for cats, I believe that if you just glue them on another piece of cardstock, they will
That's
be
in,
fine.
yeah, that's what I was saying, what I did here. And even if not glue, you use a thin piece of foam or foam tape, even that works. It helps you stretch it out. So I'm just using liquid glue for the leaves. Finding I like it there. And this card doesn't really need splatter as such, but I'll show you
Everything
what.
needs splatters always.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I'm going to show you what kind of splatter I'm going to do. It has enough shimmer though, but I think black will be nice.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
and I can also try like this blue here. It's a very dark color, so I'm just going to add a little, which is quite like the black, mostly around. And again, that also just adds a nice element of contrast. Now we need a sentiment, but I don't generally go adding my sentiments at that time. But yeah, you can use any sentiment. Like if this was something you're doing in your journal, then the same stamp set has these phrases. I'm just going to show you. it has this. It's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. And I really love that. I think that would also make for such a beautiful way of closing this, putting this together. Then there's to be an artist is to believe in life. But for this, like something like thinking of you, thank you, all of those are going to really work wonderfully. So I would say a sentiment that you can stamp in die cut and just add right there. That would be my go to thing for this. And just because I can try, I'm going to take that, it's called this old patch pearl. And I'm going to just add a little splatter with that because on the leaves, it's kind of milky, and when it dries just the mica is going to stay, so I'm just adding a little to the background too. It just a little something. So that is this card today. I'm going to lift it up and just kind of show the shine. Very muted soft colors, that delicate embossing. Makeup stickers like this. That is a good idea, Saloni. That is a good idea. And then I wanted to just show a peek at my upcoming classes. So this is the Twin Blooms class on 8.
Wow.
I like that. Thank you. So this is one same color palette, but just the colors used differently to create two cards. So Twin Blooms, that's on 18th. And both the ones that I'm showing you, this has a 20% off on the supply list. So this is an alt new class and the coupon code is still valid. And then I have these.
Oh my God. I love the yellow one. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. And this is on 9th of May, where we're creating these dimensional blooms, ink blending, working with rich colors, vibrant tones. Again, 20% off on the supply list. The coupon is valid. So if you sign up, I can
How
quickly
they can sign up?
I'm sorry.
How can people sign up for those
Yeah,
classes?
exactly. I was just going to pull the links. So let's see, copy. This one is the Lush Layered Florals. That's the red and yellow card with dimensional blooms. And then let me see, where is this Twin Blooms? I'm just going to grab the link.
I'm going to make sure she's going to edit the description of the video so you can find these links also in the description box.
Yes, I will do that. I will do that. I forgot to add that actually, but I will definitely. So this is the Twin Blooms class. Oh, thank you, everybody. Thank you. I like that you like this. Oh, yes. Thank you, Geraldine. And I'm just like, this is me thinking out loud as I look at my other cards. Just look at the vibrance here. Just look at that soft tone down there. A stark contrast with all of this vibrant, rich hue, and these being more soft, delicate, dreamy. No worries, Tracy. Yes, I can't wait to go back to Spain too. I like that, Jane. I have been to Spain once, no, twice.
I can't wait for you to come back to Spain.
I added splatter, Tracy. There is splatter. Don't worry. There is enough splatter on this. Nothing is going beyond
Don't encourage her to do more splatters.
splatter. I am quickly going to bring my face back and thank everybody. So thank you. I'm going to add W. You can see Nunu too right there. So thank you so much, everyone, and thank you, Nunu, for
My
helping me.
pleasure.
And yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any recommendations, like if you want me to use any particular products next week. I was thinking maybe alt new or spellbinders, the fuchsia collection that was released today, either that or alt new, I'm not sure. But if you have a pick, or if you want to see me use something else, let me know, and I will be more than happy to play with that. Even mediums, like if you want inks, you want pure watercolors, you want more with magicals, whatever it is, I am open to suggestions. So let me know what you'd like to see, and I'm happy to create with that. Oh, sakura blooms. Jerilyn, you are going all the way out there. I have created 5 cards with that, so yes, that will be fun too. I can definitely play with that. Yes, yeah, but I will do that. Let me know. Watercoloring.
Watercoloring
More watercoloring. Okay, watercoloring with what you
with
want to see?
watercolors.
Yeah, like pan set, or watercolor brush pens, or tubes. What do you want to see, Angelique? And I will maybe sakura blossoms with whatever thing you want to see. That helps actually. I don't have to think about my supplies for next week. Those
Yeah,
choosers are
it's always very overwhelming when we have so many things because we
yeah,
work for different brands. So
yeah.
it always helps when you suggest what you want to see. Brush pens.
Brush pens. Okay, that helps. I will do sakura blossoms with brush pens. So you can just stamp some images and come with your watercolors to watercolor with me. Watercolor pencils. We will use both. No problem.
Yeah,
We can use both.
because brush pens are really good for big watercoloring, and watercolor pencils are really good for details.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking. So yes, thank you so much everybody for joining in, and I will see you next Friday. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.